I first got sheetrock dust in my hands probably when I was 7 or 8. My dad built homes when he was an English teacher. I was a sophomore in high school. We moved up to a farm near Princeton, Minnesota. I probably learned that I had a talent for putting things together and building things when I was about 13 and started building tree forts in the neighborhood. And I was always the initial one up the tree with a hammer, hanging by an arm, trying to hold a board and pound a nail at the same time to get the base of the tree fort in. And I think I quickly became the architect, the chief carpenter, and the other 2 or 3 boys with me would just follow my command. And probably wasn't so cognizant at that point of what I was doing or that I was actually started project managing at that time. But I think looking back, building tree forts is where it all started.
In the late 1970s, John Murphy, a senior in high school, began framing homes and working on small remodeling jobs for other builders. In 1983, he figured he might as well make it official.
And at that time, the very first name of the company was John Murphy Builders. Being so creative, I had to come up with a creative name.
The business of one grew steadily in that first year or so, and John soon asked his brother Dan and a friend to join the fledgling company. It was 1984, and John somehow found the time to build his first home in Fridley.
It's my firstborn, Ben, with lipstick all over his face. This is my first office in Fridley, in my basement of our 2-story home there that I had built.
We moved into our new house in Fridley with 2 carpeted bedrooms and no kitchen and a microwave in the basement. But I was happy because I had my home.
My dad there looks like he's putting on a tool belt, actually. He helped us on the electrical on 2 homes I built. We just called him Sparky.
In 1987, John's brother Nate was asked to join the family enterprise.
He became a very accomplished carpenter, and at some point later, I decided he wanted to pursue a different career path, and he's still doing carpentry, but he's doing it on his own terms, which I can respect.
In the early 90s, John cleared a heavily wooded lot in New Brighton and built his second home, which also became his second office.
Those early years we lived in New Brighton, and we did a lot of projects right in New Brighton and Fridley. Those are, a lot of word of mouth. Started advertising in the local phone book, just a little tiny ad when you really had to think about if you were going to spend, $11 a month for an ad.
Colin Jones was our carpenter. He was known for being a scrapper and a recycler.
He looks like a young man here. His Plymouth Horizon truck with his homemade top carriers and a salvage chair. We saw him pedaling by in the morning on his way to work and riding past a new home we were building. So we thought, this is odd. We have a carpenter riding a bicycle with a basket in it. He put his tool belt in there. After I built this new home in Little Canada, his wife, Carol Lee, had introduced herself. And she told me about a year after that they were planning on building a home. And she said, well, one condition of building the house for us is you got to hire my husband, Colin. And I thought, well, he seemed harmless enough. I'm not sure if he'll be able to take his bike to our job sites, but he came on and he was willing to do anything and everything, and he was eager. He's been with us now 25 years.
Yes.
And he has been memorable and remarkable and hardworking employee and much appreciated.
As the business continued to grow, John and Sherry realized they couldn't keep working out of their New Brighton home garage. They soon found a commercial building in Blaine, which serves as the current office and display center in the North Metro. It was at this time that John finally convinced a young Dan Flaherty to join Murphy Brothers as their first full-time painter.
When I started in 1997, the company consisted of possibly 5 people, besides the Murphys.
Within a year, we'd be hiring a second painter and then a third painter, and it wasn't hard at all to keep them busy. And soon we had a stable of 5 or 6 painters full-time on staff. So painting actually became an important part of our business and almost operates as a separate department, which is under Dan's oversight and has been for 20 years now.
He had mentioned that he wanted to grow a company that would last beyond him. That's the vision, building something that has a legacy. You can't do it all by yourself. And the first person that John would have to trust is Sherry. She's got a lot of credit to be given.
Moving forward into the late 90s, early 2000s is when I got focused on the idea of, remodeling could be a business too. In the 70s and 80s, remodeling was something that carpenters did when they weren't building new homes, and it wasn't much of a business. There was often very little design. It was mostly thought as fixing things. I met and talked to some of the early industry leaders in the nation and followed the idea of let's build a business when we can raise the bar. And so I would say our business definitely evolved to meet that need.
In the late 90s and early 2000s, John added several key lead carpenters to his team to help take the company to the next level, including Mark Arnson, Sean Ilstrip, and Rick Fox.
Rick's really remembered for his commitment to his work. He was relentless on getting it right. Sean's kind of our straight guy, funny guy. Yeah, Mark has been with us just closing in on 20 years. Mark's an excellent carpenter. Like all our lead carpenters, they all take a lot of pride in what they do. They maybe don't always feel as appreciated as they are, but they're absolutely crucial in the success we've had as a company.
There was a number of people that came out to work on the house. And even that part was a lot of fun because the crew was happy and, they had their music, and I worked from home sometimes, so I would sit in the other room laughing at them, having fun and doing their job.
And they're just in there singing at the top of their lungs, just having a great time getting their work done.
But at the same time, while they're having fun, they're doing, this perfect work. The pride in their work was a lot of fun to see.
In the mid-2000s, John was developing his own Murphy Method design-build process and hiring more full-time dedicated staff, including Cherie Poissant, to both land projects and to bring a greater emphasis on design.
She's proven to be an excellent designer, great for her clients. She's done many of our award-winning projects.
I'm very grateful for all of my clients and my team members that I have, and having so many people call you back for another second, third, fourth. I have had 9 jobs for one couple. I did one really fun project. It got a Cody Award and a Master Design Award, which was really great. But the carpenter wanted to quit during the project because of the complexity of the framing and the barrel vaults on the ceiling. But it turned out beautifully, and they love it.
2007 was a watershed year for Murphy Brothers. A young man from Iowa named Jonah Smith arrived on the scene, joined the company, married John and Cherie's daughter, Nikki, just as the Great Recession rolled into town.
I always tell people 2007 was one of the most memorable years for me. It was great. Our youngest graduated from high school. Our daughter got married in the summer. We built this home, and then wham.
We were able to hold it together, but only after losing about half of our staff. It was tough, and honestly, Jonah stuck it out here. The only reason is because he was willing to roof inside houses in the winter and dig holes and break concrete, and he got really good at installing flooring.
The other subcontractors were telling me, oh, this is your test to see if he gets you a pair of concrete shoes to put you in the lake, or if you get to marry his daughter. There was one garage that I remember having to do the 40 square roof by myself, about 15, 20 below, and I was not a happy camper that day.
And now he's one of our design build consultants, in that early years of doing the hard work, doing the grunt work, learning how to become a good carpenter has given him a big leg up.
And so there's 7 of us there trying to raise this wall that's 42 feet long, 16 feet tall. And we got it up to about right here. And we were about to drop it, and then John yells, "Go, go, go!" And he pushed it all up, and that wall was probably about 2,000 pounds if we would have dropped it. That was one of those moments you just kind of go, okay, he's a little crazy, but we got it.
During the next 5 recovery years, John added more design-build capable staff, including longtime friend and Shertail relative Jeff Robinson. In 2014, John expanded into the South Metro market, acquiring Sass Construction from owner Mark Sass and opening up a new design center in Chanhassen. John also kept on several key Sass personnel.
I took on production manager Jamie Rosenlund and his brother, who's a carpenter, Ivan Sass. They were part of the package, and actually I was quite interested in them.
As the current decade draws to a close, Murphy Brothers continues to grow and win awards.
Well, I think the last 5 years has been fun again. It's hard to steer a car that's got the brakes on. So now that things are moving again, there's opportunity to define the direction that we're going and to think about possibilities again instead of just kind of hanging on the edge of the pool. So yeah, it's fun.
The 35th anniversary of Murphy Brothers is a convergence of recognition and gratitude to all the clients, subcontractors, and strategic partners who help make this milestone possible.
Starting with Country Lumber up in Becker, Shaw Stewart Lumber, Hirschfield's, Corbin Shriners, our sales rep for them.
Samuelson Cabinetry.
Oh, yep. The Cambria people, Granite Tops.
Jeff at Rightway has been great. Steve at Glacier. There's so many different people over the years that we've worked with that have just been phenomenal.
Clients that stand out the most to me, Lynn Gettleman is probably the first one that comes to mind. Just a joy every day to be around.
Mary Anderson was a wonderful lady to work with. She would bake me cookies every day.
And we don't take it for granted. We feel like we have to earn it every time. We wish everything went perfect on every job all the time, but we've been around long enough to realize that that's not realistic. All we know, what we can promise, is that we're always going to finish doing it right. We're going to stand behind our work, and we're never going to back down from doing the right thing.
My name is Lynn Gettleman, and I congratulate John Murphy and his team on his 35 years of being in business.
I'm Jeff Murphy. I'd like to congratulate John Murphy and the whole company on 35 years. That's a great feat. Congratulations.
My name is Brian Fanamel, and this is my wife, Jenny. Congratulations, John, on being in business for 35 years.
And here's to another 35 more.
Hi, I'm Cindy Vavra, and John and I live in Eden Prairie, Minnesota.
A huge congratulations to John and Murphy Brothers. We have such fond memories of them in our hearts, so we feel very special to be part of their past 35 years.
Hi, I'm Mary Pat Koturski, Eric Moore's wife, and I congratulate Murphy Brothers for 35 years in business. Wow, marriages don't even last that long. That is really an accomplishment.
From John and Sarah Lee Hovanek.
We tip our hat to you and your crew on this 35th anniversary occasion.
John, you guys are like family. We congratulate you and celebrate with you.
Congratulations on a job well done.
Repeat after me. This whole thing started.
This whole thing started.
And then you give the answer.
I'm trying to think of something smart to say.
I know, I kind of, okay, it'd be much easier.
I'm like a dog or a kid. You don't perform on command.
But he's fondly remembered for his unique Yep.
That's Sean. And after that, I named him Drama Queen on my phone. So Tim came up with Handsome Mark. I don't call him that, but Jonah's Big Bird.
Around here, we only require you to work half a day. We don't care which 12 hours it is.
The interest rates started coming down, and things got a little easier, and I lost my train of thought where I was going with that.
Well, we were talking about the recession.
Oh, there we go. Okay, thank you.
That I've been with the company for almost 15 years. Got to do that over again.
That's the hardest question.
I don't know who I am.
So as we got through that tough spot, there was a couple other minor receptions.
One of my worst days would probably be when I had some particularly not so good potato salad.
And we lived there for 8 years, 17 years. Whoops.
My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
I myself have stepped off a ladder into a 5-gallon bucket of paint, and it can be challenging.